Aloha, everybody. I'm Michelle Melendez with blossominnerwellness.com and standtogetherhawaii.com. Please join standtogetherhawaii.com because I have finished the affidavit to the governor, which I'm going to be sharing with you what that is, the instructions of how to submit it, and also I want to just share a little bit about what's happening over in Maui. We did have the last and final testimony for the toxic dump at Alualu. And there was, I think, a little over 30 people who testified, as well as all the people that emailed in. And if that was you, if you sent in an email that said, please do not dump toxic waste in Alualu, thank you so much. Much mahalo for that. My testimony literally stated to them that you have taken an oath, and I read the oath of office that they swore to when the Maui City Council took office. And then I showed them the Hawaii, in fact, I'll just show you guys the Hawaii state constitution, which they are violating. And I said, sorry, this is shaking. Let me get this up really fast. Share screen. And this is the Constitution of Hawaii. And the Article 1 is called the political power. And I told them, reminded them of their oath and said, political power, all political power of this state is inherent in the people, and the responsibility for the exercise thereof rests with the people. All government is founded on this authority. So I shared that with them, and I told them, if you guys violate this, if you go against the will of the people, you will be in violation of your oath, and you will need to voluntarily step down. So that's what they've done. They've gone against the will of the people. So I will be writing an affidavit for them as well. And these affidavits, what they are is they're the power of the people. This is the power that we have against the government, because people just kind of go, oh, the government did this. Oh, I'm so bummed. I'm so mad. But what can I do? Well, what we do is we write affidavits and we show them how they have violated their oath of office. And then what happens is they can rebut the affidavit. If there's anything in the affidavit that is not true, we ask them to rebut it within 30 days. And if they don't, then we take them to civil court. And what happens when you go to civil court with an affidavit, if it is not rebutted, an unrebutted affidavit stands as truth in law. It stands as truth in law, which means that that affidavit, if it is true in law, that government official must step down. He must step down, or she must step down, for violating their oath of office, because it means something to take and swear your oath to defend and support the Constitution of the United States of America and Constitution of Hawaii. They are two different constitutions that these officials have sworn and to uphold, which they are violating. So the Maui City Council has violated their oath of office. They will be receiving a registered by mail, notarized affidavit of how they have violated their oath of office. And my goal is to get that out. I'm going to finish that today or tomorrow and get that to them this week. The affidavit to the governor is completed. I will be reading it to you here and leaving the link below that you can use as a template. So please read it yourself. If you live in Lahaina and you have a testimony that you want to add to the affidavit, then I will put an area where you can do that. And it'll say, your testimony here. Please write exactly what happened. Everything must be truthful. It must be factual and must be truthful. Have the dates, have the people involved, exactly what it is you saw. In particular, the people who have seen the police blocking the roads and murdering people, keeping them from being able to exit a fire is absolutely murder. So please do write your testimony in those areas. And then what you want to do is you have to get it notarized. A notary, you can get it for free at your bank. Notaries are free at the bank, or you can pay somebody. They're usually between $15 to $20. And you have them watch you sign the affidavit, and then they put their seal on it. And then you take it to the mailbox and you have it registered mail. And that's how you do that. Also, keep your copy. So after you get it notarized by the notary, go to Office Max or your copy machine And make sure you keep your copy so that you have it available as well. So that is what I'm doing on Monday, but let me get to it. So I want to first share what, just reminding everybody what's been going on in Maui. And the first part is understanding that, I want to go here, that Maui is set to be the first smart city. It is set to be the first smart city. Japan-US collaborative smart grid demonstration project in Maui. And this is, where's the date? I don't know where the date is on this, but I did want to read this first introduction, just so we're just reminding people that Maui is set to be the first smart city. This is during the period between 2001 and 2016, there has been a smart community project called Jump Smart Maui, held in the island of Maui, Hawaii, with the objective and effective utilization of renewable energy that has been penetrating a large scale and widespread deployment of electric vehicles. A smart community was constructed by the Hawaiian and Japanese stakeholders. A smart community was constructed by Hawaiian and Japanese stakeholders, headed by the New Energy and Industrial Technology Development Organization, NEDO of Japan. Stakeholders. They like, what does that tell you when you read that? When I read that, I was like, oh, Hawaiian and Japanese stakeholders that want to have a whole smart city in Maui, Jump Smart Maui. So what does that tell everybody? So let me just show you guys a little bit more stuff here, sharing with the corridor. Let's see here, I think it's right here. Lahaina Road to Mala map. And this is the West Maui corridor plan. And where is this? This is the Maui, this is the island of Maui. This is Lahaina. Okay, this red is the urban center corridor, red, where everything burned. Now, remembering that the governor has suspended, which is absolutely a violation of his constitutional, his oath of office. You cannot suspend laws if you are a governor. The only people that can suspend or change laws is the legislative body, period. This whole emergency proclamation 127 is bogusly bullshit. You cannot supersede the Constitution. Nothing, no law, no statute, no article can supersede the Constitution. It can't happen. This is why we have to take them to court, because his emergency proclamation is against his constitutional oath of office. He spent 6 months and met with over 200 people, according to as it was Hankins, who was an attorney for the Earth Justice. They were actually had a lawsuit, which I'm going to show you guys a video of that right here in a second. They had a lawsuit going against the governor saying, you can't suspend these laws. You have no authority under the Constitution. So let me show you the video of what I'm talking about. And let me do another screen share so you guys can see the video. This was a lawsuit that they dropped, which was a very big bummer that they dropped this. And I can't believe they dropped this. But anyway, environmentalists drop lawsuit after emergency proclamation is revised. So they should never have dropped the lawsuit, because the lawsuit is absolutely unconstitutional and a governor cannot suspend laws. And I'll tell you some of the laws he suspended, even though I've already shared this, but here we go. Oh, hold on. I want to make sure that that the audio is on so you can hear this. Start share sound. Okay. All right, there we go. He's really happy that he revised it, but they should never stop this lawsuit. Never should have stopped this lawsuit.
That we shouldn't be stripping away our environmental and cultural and good government protections to troubleshoot our housing challenges.
This year, ACLU and 3 local community
Let me rewind that because I want to tell you who it is.
3 local community. The Sierra Club, ACLU, and 3 local community groups sued the state, but now the lawsuit is withdrawn, even though they say there are lingering concerns.
We're willing to withdraw our lawsuit for now and take a wait-and-see approach. We have a basic concern about the governor identifying important public policy issues as emergencies that justify the use of emergency management powers.
The alarm is that we can't find housing for our children. That is the actual alarm.
Oh my God. Oh, this pisses me off so bad.
For those that question whether there's an emergency proclamation, let me just say, Hawaiians are dying out there.
The state had said there are 50,000 housing units.
Okay, let me just ask you guys this. What was the housing situation where people were dying? Was that all over the news? Was it like catastrophic? Were there like hundreds of thousands of people dying from housing not available to them in Hawaii? No. Was it an emergency? Did it happen like this? Was it a natural occurrence? No. So they're basically, he basically literally says that in the emergency proclamation says that if the governor deems there could be a threat to the people, that he can create an emergency proclamation. He spent 6 months on this. 6 months. That means that's legislation does that. Legislation spends 6 months on a bill, and they go through public testimony, and they go through, you know, showing evidence, and they go through different readings, and they go through votes. He literally spent 6 months on this emergency. People are dying. Are they dying everywhere? No, they weren't. It was a policy. It was a home policy that needs to be revised and needs attention for sure, but it was not an emergency. People weren't dropping dead right and left, and him doing this is an absolute violation of his oath of office. So sorry, I know I get intense about this. So let me go to the one more thing, I think 1 or 2 more things, and then I do want to go to the affidavit that I will be submitting, and it is completed here. Let me show you this. This was really interesting. Remember how in the United Nations, he was saying, oh, this is a fire hurricane, and it was because of Hurricane Dora. Check this out. This is from the Cron 4, let's see here. All right, there we go. This is from KCRA 3, and this is the chief meteorologist, Mark Franklin or something like that. But anyway, this is what he says. I have his last name incorrect, but this is what he says.
A lot of attribution given to the Hurricane Dora, but I really don't think that this hurricane has had anything to do with the winds here. Here's where the storm is now. It's a powerful hurricane. It's a Category 4 hurricane, but here are where the islands are. And yeah, right now the storm is moving away, and the closest this storm got was 600 miles. So I really don't think this played much in the way of a role at all in the winds, but they have had classic trade winds, and they'll continue with winds like that. But
so he says that he doesn't believe, his chief meteorologist says he doesn't believe the Hurricane Dora had anything to do. And if you saw, the trade winds were coming down, and Dora was to the far left, 600 miles away, going in the opposite direction of the winds. So this is so what I'm saying is that the affidavit, let me see if there's anything else I wanted to share before I start reading it, and then I will. The link is in the description. You guys can use that. And let me go here. Nope, I don't think. Okay, so I do want to read it to you guys. So I'm going to stop the screen share, find it here, and then we can go from there. This affidavit declaration of truth, and this is going to be in the link. You can use this as, let me see here. Am I on? Okay, yeah. You can use this as a template. Please make sure that you read it, because when you sign it in front of a notary, you are claiming that it is true to your best ability, and you are, please add again any testimony of your personal testimony that you want to add to it. So let me just read it, and I will be sharing some other things, other videos as well, to show the truth of this. I'm Michelle Melendez, domiciled in Hawaii, a living, breathing, flesh and blood woman on the land. And this is really important, this type of language, because we are, that's another story. In the Freedom People, if you haven't joined my Freedom School, please join that. And you can find that link at standtogetherhawaii.com. But there's a reason for this language. We, the people of the U.S., let me go down here. This affidavit of truth is a lawful notification to you. It's going to the governor and is hereby made and sent to you pursuant to the national constitution, specifically the Bill of Rights in particular, Amendments 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10 of the Bill of Rights, and the Bill of Rights of the Hawaii Constitution, in particular the First Amendment, which provides several rights protections to express ideas through speech and freedom of the press. The Fourth Amendment, which bars the government from unreasonable search and seizure. The 10th Amendment says the federal government only has those powers delegated in the Constitution, and if it isn't listed, it belongs to the states and the people. Specifically, the Hawaiian Constitution, Article 1, Section 1, all political power of the state is inherent in the people. I read this to you guys, and their responsibility for the exercise thereof rests with the people. So let me go down here. This affidavit pertains to your unconstitutional actions and inactions committed regarding the horrific fire that destroyed Lahaina, and requires your written rebuttal to me in kind, specific to each and every point of the subject matter stated herein within 30 days via your own sworn notarized affidavit using true fact, valid law, and evidence to support your rebuttal of the specific subject matter stated in this affidavit declaration. You are hereby noticed that your failure to respond as stipulated and rebut with particularity and specificity anything with which you disagree in this affidavit declaration is your lawful, legal, and binding tacit agreement with and admission to the fact that everything in this affidavit declaration is true, correct, legal, lawful, and fully binding upon you in any court in America without your protest or objection of that of those who respected you. And silence can only be equated with fraud, where there is a legal and moral duty to speak, or where an inquiry left unanswered would be intentionally misleading. So this, I don't want to read the whole entire thing because you guys do have it in the description, but I do want to go down to talking about what violations he has done. So the first one, the Lahaina fires, was an attack on the people of Maui. The Lahaina fires killed hundreds, if not thousands, on August 8th, 2023. You, Governor Green, violated your oath of office when you repeatedly and currently lied to the people regarding the cause of the fire, the number of deaths, the way you and your administration handled the emergency, including allowing police officers to deliberately block exits, which is murder, and the cover-up of the truth. The death count is still unknown because the crime scene has been compromised, and the coroner is the police chief, which is a complete conflict of interest. There is abundant testimony from people in Lahaina that the police blocked off Front Street and would not let people leave the area in their cars. These innocent people, men, women, and children, and even pets, were viciously enveloped by the fire and incinerated to dust in their cars. The few people who courageously ignored the police blockade were able to leave, so they survived. The callous actions of the police were illogical, unnecessary, and appear to have been done to deliberately put Lahaina citizens in harm's way from the rapidly advancing fire. All of this was conducted under the watch of the Maui police chief, whose actions in this disaster, as well as the police involved in the blockade, must be investigated by a complete independent organization which will deal in truth and facts and not be an internal review which will cover it up. So this is the next part, is 1A. Handling of the emergency. All emergency personnel were off island the day of the fire. You, Governor, were on the mainland. The Maui fire chief was in Colorado. Herman Ananda, administrator of Maui Emergency Management Agency, was in Oahu the day of the fire. He didn't return to Maui until the day after the fire, and it took him a week before he spoke with the press. The possibility of arson was not investigated, even though there have been numerous arson cases in recent years on Maui. And the nature of this fire was very suspicious, not in keeping with typical wildfires, which this fire was not, no matter what anyone claims to the contrary. The lights seen in, I wanted to read, not that part, this other part. This is all again in the description, so take a look at that. the emergency warning system. There was no emergency warning system, no warning through radio or local media, TV, news stations, police, or fire. The warning sirens from the best emergency warning system in the world were not turned on. No warning from the early morning start of the fire through the evening. No cell phone alerts, which are standard for emergencies. There was no cell service for the entire day of the fire. Some locals could contact the mainland, but were unable to contact other locals in their area. This is highly unusual, suspect, and likely criminal on the part of you and your government and the government of Lahaina. Violation of the First Amendment to the original national constitution, freedom of the press. On August 14th, 2023, you denied, again, this is to the governor, journalists access to the burned area, which is a violation of the First Amendment of the freedom of the press. The freedom of the press is the right to create, publish, and disseminate information, thoughts, and opinions without restraint or censorship, as guaranteed under the First Amendment to the referenced national constitution, of which you denied pursuant to your oath. After the fire, the FAA had flight restrictions in the flight area above over Lahaina. People who stopped to take pictures were accosted by police. Police were posted on an overlook above the city. Military had checkpoints around the burn zone. 8 weeks after the fire, there was a total ban on media access except guided tours to preferred outlets. This resembles a cover-up and complete violation of the freedom of the press and the rights and freedom of the people. All of this was conducted under your watch, thus you bear full responsibility for this. Violation of the Fourth Amendment to the original national constitution bars government from unreasonable search and seizures, and the Hawaii Bill of Rights, Article 1, Section 7, search and seizures and invasion of privacy. Jeffrey Stevens, at Maui City Council, on September 14th, 2023, stated there are hundreds of people who are not allowed onto their property except people from the EPA sifting through their sacred property and sacred ground, and they are not being investigated. Your allowance, Governor, of the Fourth Amendment and Article 1, Section 7 violations were done pursuant to your oath and is an egregious violation of the constitutions and the rights of the people secured therein, which appears to be the normal custom, practice, and policy of the various Hawaii governments. During the public appearance on site in Lahaina the week after the fire, you stated, I am already looking for ways for the state to acquire the land so we can put it into workforce housing, put it back into families, and make it open space in perpetuity as a memorial. The people of Lahaina do not want to leave or sell their ancestral land. To threaten to take their land without their consent against their will by stating that you're looking for ways to acquire the land is a violation of your oath of office. You have no lawful authority to acquire people's land because you want to use it for a particular purpose that you determine. You are not a dictator, but rather you were elected as and required to be a public servant acting in the best interests of the people. However, your words and actions demonstrate that you acted against the best interests of the people in violation of the Constitution, national and state, and perjury of your oath. Hawaii Bill of Rights Act, Article 1, Section 7 states, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizures and invasion of privacy shall not be violated. Number 4, violation of the Hawaii Bill of Rights, Article 1, Section 2, rights of individuals. On August 16th, 2023, at a press conference, Governor, you stated, I have reached out to our Attorney General to explore our options to do a moratorium on any sales of property that have been damaged or destroyed. The rights of individuals states all persons are free by nature and are equal in their inherent and unalienable rights. Among these rights are the enjoyment, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and the acquiring of and possessing of property. These rights cannot endure unless the people recognize their corresponding obligation and responsibility. Governor, you have no authority to deny people these rights. The inherent rights of citizens secured in the Constitution cannot lawfully be taken away except through due process of law. No due process of law was extended to the people. Therefore, you cannot tell people what to do with their property, compel them to leave, or sell their property or try to acquire their land for the state, you have overstepped your limited authority delegated to you by the people, thereby perjured your oath of office. So I wanted to state this. Some people are like, Michelle, but that's a good thing. You know, he's stopping people from, other people from coming in to steal the land. Here's the thing. You can't do that. You have a right. If you're a homeowner, you can sell it to anybody you want. If there's an asshole that wants to come in and try to buy your land because he's a total jerk and you're in a place where you're like, not in a good place of mind, but he wants to do that and you want to sell it to him, you can do that. Okay? There's no government. No, the government doesn't have the power to say, no, you can't sell. You can do whatever the heck you want. That is called freedom, people. So if you want to be a jerk, you have the freedom to be a jerk. And I'll fight for that too, because people have these rights, and that rights are more important than anything. We go, oh, let's just step on this right. Let's just step on this right here. No, you can't do that. Violation number 5, violation of the Hawaii Bill of Rights. Article 1, Section 2, rights of individuals, and Section 8, rights of citizens. At the end of December 2023, Governor Yu stated, I will propose a moratorium on short-term rentals through emergency rules. He can't do that, you guys. You are an elected public servant, not a dictator. Pursuant to your oath, you have no lawful authority to tell people what to do with their property or to compel them to sell or leave their fire-affected properties, nor to impose restrictions or mandates upon the people whose properties were not affected by the fire, compelling them to rent their properties against their will and best interests. By attempting to do so, you violate the constitutions and perjure your oath of office. Hawaii Bill of Rights, Section 8, the rights of citizens states, no citizen shall be disenfranchised or deprived of any of the rights or privileges secured to other citizens, unless by the law of the land. Only legislation can make laws, and no law can affect one citizen and not another. Therefore, by putting or threatening to put a moratorium on short-term rentals without the approval of the legislative body, and by targeting short-term rentals in Maui alone, violates people's rights protected by the Constitution. He can't do this, you guys. You have to understand, and the only people who can stand up is us, because our government officials are fucktards, in my opinion. Sorry for that, but anyway. Number 6, completely violated your oath of office. 23 days before the fire, you signed your first emergency proclamation, and in so doing, completely violated your oath to defend and support the Constitution. According to David Henkin, a former attorney for Earth Justice, you and others in your administration worked on the emergency proclamation for at least 6 months. You met with over 200 groups and individuals and received input on the policies in your proclamation. This action, according to the Hawaii Constitution, is reserved for the legislature only. Governors do not have the power to create or suspend laws, or any bill or law that tries to give a governor or mayor that right violates the Constitution and perjures your oath. HRS 127 relating to emergency powers is unconstitutional. Check this out. This law states the governor may declare the existence of a state of emergency in the state by proclamation. If the governor, this is such a joke, it's not funny, haha way. If the governor finds that an emergency or disaster has occurred, or that there is imminent danger or threat of an emergency or disaster in any portion of the state, he can declare this emergency. That's like a dictator. This is setting him up for a dictatorship. That's exactly what that one guy was saying. You can't do this, and I can't believe that lawsuit was dropped. Those people, you need to step back up to the plate, man. Policy and purpose. The second, check this out. Second to last sentence of this 127 related emergencies powers states this chapter shall be liberally construed to effectuate its purposes, provided that this chapter shall not be construed as conferring any power or permitting any action which is inconsistent with the Constitution and laws of the United States. but in so construing that this chapter, due consideration shall be given to the circumstances as they exist from time to time. That entire law is exactly, it completely is inconsistent with the Constitution. It shouldn't even be, it shouldn't even have been passed. It's so unconstitutional. And so then this is what I say, this entire law, which takes power away from the legislation, is completely unconstitutional. You cannot have a law that suspends the supersedes the Constitution. And the Constitution does not give emergency or any other power to make or suspend laws to the governor. By exercising this bill, you have violated your oath of office once again. So I'm going to keep going with this. And again, the link for yours template, use it as a template, read it, make sure that you understand it, add your testimony to it. And if it feels right for you, you can also look at standtogetherhawaii.com, go to Maui Fires. All of the everything that I'm sharing with you, all of the evidence is there. Maui Fires at standtogetherhawaii.com. Please join our email list, because I will be sending this in an email. And again, the instructions are, you must get it notarized. It's free to get it notarized at a bank. And then you register mail, which is I think like $6 or $7 to register it by mail. Okay. You've governor submitting an emergency proclamation suspending 7 housing laws. He suspended the historical preservation law in Hawaii. That is insane. He suspended the sunshine law, which allows the government agencies to have meetings behind closed doors, not being recorded, not telling the public they're even having a meeting at all, no public testimony. And then they suspended numerous other laws. But here's the thing, this is a violation of, again, Article 1, Section 1, political power. All political power in the state is inherent in the people, and the responsibility for the exercise thereof rests with the people. This means that no government meeting cannot have people not let them know about it. It's totally unconstitutional. Then it goes on to saying that I'm a living woman, and the dwelling, and any act committed by you, Josh Green, acting as a governor, either supports or upholds the Constitution, national and state, or opposes and violates them. You have taken an oath to support and uphold the national and state constitutions and are constitutionally mandated to abide by that oath in the performance of your official duties. You have no constitutional authority or any other form of valid lawful authority to oppose and violate the very documents to which you swore or affirmed your oath, and under which you were delegated by the people to the limited authority to conduct the duties of your office. So then I go on to saying about the Lahaina fires. So let me just go through this. The fire in Lahaina was not normal. In fact, the many anomalies pertaining to this fire have given the people not only of Lahaina, Maui, and Hawaii, but also all of America good reason to think that the government attacked its own people on purpose. And I want you, if you're listening to this going, oh, here she goes, she's dropping off the edge now. Please understand, please listen, just be open to what I'm going to share with you, because I have interviewed firefighters, I have interviewed arborists that share with me that there's no way that was a normal fire. So let me just finish up with me here. And again, if you want to go to, in fact, let me just do that. I'm just gonna share with you guys Maui. Where is it here? Here we go. I want to go to my Maui fires. Okay. The one up here. If you just go to Maui Fires, questioning Maui Fires, here's why you should. This is the #1 video. This video, 48-year arborist shares insights into how Maui fire was not a normal fire. Okay. This has, I'm not gonna, all right, let me pause that here. This has over close to 500,000 views. And this guy has studied trees for almost 50 years. He went to 33 sites, fire sites, over 100 times. And he basically says, and let's see if I can find it here, because this is where he says that the fire is not normal.
And these are willows, cottonwoods, alder, birch, maple, madrone, and many others that really want to be close to a creek. Not one leaf will be burned on them, even when the leaves are on the ground, but they'll cook from the inside out where the highest water amount of holding capacity would be. Pines and more flammable trees are doing the same, but at a slower rate, even though the sap in many pines is more combustible than the water lovers by far. They're kind of last to burn. The needles will be brown everywhere, but they're not burned up.
Okay.
Burn, but that's a whole different
Okay,
topic.
this is here it is.
Go ahead and keep going.
All I can say is they don't recognize the organics, even though they're super hot. They seem to be much hotter than our regular wood fires, but for whatever reason, they're not recognizing organics. They turn everything brown. They suck the water out of it like it's in a microwave oven in your kitchen, leave them brown or a light shade of green, but it will not ignite them unless they're in close proximity to metals. Or
you're talking about the fire. The fire doesn't recognize
that's right.
The eucalyptus organism, oh my gosh, the organics of that organism. Yeah. Wow.
It has to be in close proximity to your metals, whether they're ferrous or non-ferrous, like aluminum, or creeks and water.
So I wanted to share that because basically what he's talking about, that he's saying that, you know, it's 2,400 degrees to melt the glass, to melt aluminum, to melt the door handles off of the cars. And a wildfire is normally 1,400 degrees. And then he says that the actual chemistry of the fire doesn't recognize the chemistry of the trees. This is why they're not burnt. In fact, I'll show you this. I know this is a long video, but I want to show you this other thing here because this was really blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, it shows this right here. This is where the dust screen is turned on. So let me go here. I'll pull it up here, but I'm going to turn off the sound because all I want you to see is the trees. This is a dust screen that cost $2.4 million to put up, this dust screen. But I want you to look at the trees. They're not burned. So look at all of this stuff, and the trees are still up. And let's see here. Yeah. All of this, look at this, palm trees. Look at the foliage. This was right after the fire, you guys. Look at the foliage. Foliage, foliage, all of this. $2.4 million dust screen foliage. Look at this one, foliage. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying that it's not a normal fire. So let me keep going. Okay, you acting as governor have done nothing to investigate the real cause of the fire and the actions and inactions of government at all levels regarding this fire. You have failed the people of Lahaina and Maui, which gives me great concern that you will fail all the people of Hawaii if such circumstances and events ever reoccur. Your actions sorry, this word is escaping my head right now. Perjured your oath of office and betrayed the public trust, as I have shown above, and you have lied to not only the people of Hawaii, but to the world, the United Nations. On September 17th, 2023, you spoke to the United Nations stating the fire destroyed Lahaina in 17 minutes and 97 people died. The fire lasted well over 17 minutes and many people are still missing and unaccounted for to this day, with untold numbers of people dead and missing, likely reaching well into the many thousands. At the UN, you stated the fire was so hot that it turned off the water infrastructure. According to the DLNR, that was not the reason for the unavailable water supply. In a news release from the DLNR on August 16th, 2023, they stated that they asked for more water from the Commission of Water Resource Management and were denied water until 6 p.m., which made it too late. Water was not sent to the hydrants all day and all night. This was due to negligence and not the fire destroying the infrastructure. In your speech to the UN, you stated the fire was due to climate change. However, the Global Climate Intelligence Group has 1,609 scientists from around the world who have signed a declaration stating scientific proof that the Earth is moving toward global cooling and not global warming, and there is no climate emergency. There have been many geologists, climatologists, meteorologists that have shown scientific proof, including a 60-year climatologist and founder of the Weather Channel, John Coleman, and 50-year U.S. Air Force meteorologist and climatologist, Professor David Dilley, who clearly shows the Milankovitch cycle of the Earth moving away from the sun. The Earth was closer to the sun 8,000 years ago. If you guys want to watch those videos, standtogetherhawaii.com. Scroll down, you'll see all the videos of there's about 5 or 6 climatologists, meteorologists, and geologists that I show you. You can watch it yourself. You can watch them telling you guys that there's no climate emergency. You stated at the UN that ice caps are melting and that ocean levels are rising, yet none of the oceanfront homes, beaches, or shops are underwater or threatened to be underwater anywhere in the world. You also stated that the species are dying and going extinct, but according to, again, 60-year climatologist John Coleman, the polar bear that lives at the North Pole, which you say is melting, Governor, currently has the largest population in history. That is according to John Coleman, founder of the Weather Channel. You stated the fire hurricane. Governor, you stated it was a fire hurricane that swept through Lahaina because of a hurricane that was 500 to 600 miles away. The chief meteorologist of KCRA Channel 3, Mark Finane, that's who it was, shows satellites of the images of Maui. The winds are going northeast and the hurricane is going away from the fire. So I share that. Then I talk about the national weather modification. And then I share the images clearly show a wave-like pattern. Let me start here. Sorry, you guys. He stated the storm was moving away and the closest it got to Maui was 600 miles. The weather pattern shows the hurricane moving in the exact opposite direction of the trade winds that hit Maui in the day of the fire. Other satellite images show, and this is also, again, standtogetherhawaii.com. You guys have seen this video with Bruce Douglas. It shows the weather, these lines of clouds coming like a wave to the Hawaii Islands and then stopping at the Hawaii Islands, and then it's just clear blue sky. Okay. This guy, Bruce Douglas, he's been studying the weather for 15 years over the Hawaii Islands, never seen anything like this. And I'm not going to show it to you guys because you guys can go to standtogetherhawaii.com and see it there. The national, but if you're still going, Michelle, you're crazy. There's no weather modification. Okay. I'm just going to do a screen share on this one because this is yeah, if you don't believe me about weather modification, let me just show you. I'll just show you. Here we go. Share. Maui fire. Because this is this is all in the this is the geologist, climatologist. There's no climate emergency. That's what all these guys are talking about. Direct energy weapons, we're going to talk about that in a second, but weather modification. Here's the Weather Modification Act, you guys. There was an act in Congress in 1976. That's 1976. I think I was 4 years old, or was I 5 years old, or I don't know how old I was. 4 years old. October 13th, 1976. Attached. This is a review for analysts' research efforts and needs in weather modification technology. Okay, there you go. Weather modification apparatus. You just still don't believe me? Here's this U.S. patent. Here is a U.S. patent number 4686605, method and apparatus for altering region of the Earth's atmosphere and ionosphere and magnetosphere. Patent, U.S. patent, which means they have it. Projects, weather modification projects. This is from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in the late 1940s and 50s. Many deemed the deliberate and inadvertent alteration of atmospheric conditions by human activity, also known as weather modification, as a promising science of the future. That was in the 40s and 50s, you guys. Still don't think it? Weather modification company. And then I also talked about direct energy weapons. Now, I personally didn't see any. I don't talk about the lasers and stuff like that. If somebody saw that, write it in your testimony. I never saw that, so it's not going to go into my testimony. But what I do know is that there are microwave energy apparatuses, and I'll show you what that is. And there is direct energy weapons that is available. And check this one out. Oh, this one breaks my heart the most, actually. This is Defense Technical Information Center, preserving knowledge, connecting people, inspiring innovation, forest fires as a military weapon. Okay, this was, where's the date here? Don't have the date here. But this was talking about how you can use forest fires as a weapon. Forest Service, Washington, D.C., corporate authored this, you guys. And then let's just show you guys this really quickly. I did show this on another video. I know this is going long, but what I want you to see is he's going to show the fires in Canada coming up like that, each at the same time. Okay, I'll show you them when it comes up. Let's see here. It's over here. But it comes up and it just shows, there it is. Okay, it's happening right here. You're just going to see these clouds come up. They're not clouds, they're fire. See that right there? These, same time, all of the same time. Let me do it again here. All that, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is all at the same time. These are fires in Quebec, Canada, happening at the same time. Right there, all that, same time, you guys. That is the fire in Canada 7 months ago. The other thing I want to share, I'm almost there. We're almost there, you guys. Thank you for staying with me. If you're still with me, you guys rock. Direct Energy Weapons Systems Acquisition, 2016. People are like, oh, that's crazy. Well, Congress has known about this for a long time. This bill, the direct energy weapon system, means military action using high focus sound, electromagnetic or particle beam energy to incapacitate, damage, or destroy enemy equipment, facilities, or personnel. That was an acquisition act in 2016. This is a U.S. patent for a direct energy weapons apparatus, and this was, I believe, was it August? Let me see here. April 23rd, 2002. Microwave transmission using a laser generated plasma beam waveguide. Now this can be done. Do I have that in there? I don't have Morpheus in there. This can be done. It doesn't have to come from space. It can be done from a ship. It can be done from this Morpheus. I'll show you actually. This Morpheus thing that I need to put in here. Put in Morpheus drone. Morpheus drone. It's a drone. It can be done by a drone. This Morpheus drone from Lockheed Martin. It has the technology capable of high power microwave effector. And it's basically says it's used to execute non-kinetic defeat of other drones, but this is the power it can have. So I'm not saying that it's coming from space. You know, it can come from a ship. They have this technology. They have it. It's available. And let's see about. Let me just share. Finishing off with what I'm sharing about the affidavit, which is in the description. And you guys can use this, and please do use this. National Weather Modification. Talk about the fire captain, 30-year fire captain, who talks about how bodies do not char and they are not recognizable like they have been in Lahaina, where you can see the guy's braids, where a dog is literally frozen, frozen, just laying there, just frozen like that. They don't, organic material, human bodies, pets don't burn like that. They don't leave hair on the body when they burn in a normal wildfire. So I talk about that, and many experts, many firefighters, fire captains, arborists, and more believe that Lahaina was attacked. Governor Green, you have not only lied to the people and the world, but you have done your best to hide the truth about the deliberate attack. On August 16th, less than 2 weeks after the fire, the Hawaii Department of Transportation operating under your watch, installed a nearly 30,000 liner foot of dust screen, which was estimated to cost $2.4 million. That has never, there's never been a dust screen like that in another wildfire. And you guys are saying, well, Michelle, there's dust and it's going to be toxic. Okay, I want to see the evidence. I want to see an outside source show me the evidence that that's toxic and how much toxic, because they didn't do it in Paradise. I'm from Paradise, or near Paradise. They didn't do it in any of the other areas around the world that I know that have had this fire, but they've done it in Lahaina. And is it because of the ocean? Hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I can believe that too, you know. But this has never been done at any other wildfire. And then the Maui Fire News reports that there were traces of toluene in drinking water, which is not only found in paint thinner, permanent markers, certain types of glue, but it's the common, it's commonly referred to as TNT for dynamite. So I asked the 30-year fire captain, is it normal to have toluene in drinking water after a fire? And he said, no, absolutely not. And now I have to have some water. Governor Green, you have not only violated your oath of office, but you have failed the people of Hawaii and have ignored many signs that this tragedy was not normal and should have been investigated as an attack on Maui. And then it goes through lawful notifications, and then I sign it at the end and give a notary. Okay, that was a lot, I know. If you stayed with me to the end, thank you so much. The template is in the description. If you live in Maui and you have a testimony, I will have it where you can write it out. If you are somewhere around the world and you just want to submit this, just as it is, please read through it and make sure that you feel that it is truthful to your best knowledge, and take a look at the evidence that I have on standtogetherhawaii.com. All right, I don't know how long this is, but let's do a quick calling in the knowingness that truth is, and light and freedom is with all of us. Great Spirit, infinite intelligence of all things. Infinite intelligence is beating our heart and breathing our bodies and running the sun across the sky and moving the tides in the ocean. We are just so grateful for the guidance that you give us every single day to do what is right. We know what is right is not always what is easy, but what is right is what we're called to do. And we know that we each have the courage to stand for what we truly believe in. We understand this game that we're in, that we decided to come play, as being in a human body and taking a stand for what our hearts guide us to do is exactly why we came here. We know that the light of truth is lit up on Maui. Like, it is so lit up. Oh my goodness. And that the truth is unfolding, even with the Maui City Council, as they have approved the toxic dump waste at Alualu, that is also a violation of their oath, and that they will be either voluntarily stepping down from office or peaceably being removed as the mayor of Maui, as the governor of Hawaii. Because these people are doing their part to help wake up the world to understand the absolute tyranny that we have been under for so long. We call in freedom, we call in peace, we call in harmony right now. We see a world where all people matter, where people are free to do their heart's passion and their heart's desire, where there's no more fear, where people walk and say hi to strangers and give hugs when they meet them and say aloha, and they feel that aloha in their hearts. And we know that it can be here on the Hawaii Islands again. We see Maui as a beautiful place, completely pristine, completely protected, and all of the people there are supported, and they feel that they matter, that they have homes, that they're secure, that they feel taken care of. Then they know that they are totally loved by all the people on not only Hawaii, but all around the world. And we give so much gratitude to all the people that are standing for truth, for our waking up, for having the courage just to say, what in the heck is Michelle talking about? And let me look deeper. We just thank you so much for their courage to look outside the box, to look outside the news, and to see the truth for what it is, and for taking a stand and knowing that all these Hawaii Islands are free, are protected, And this freedom and this peace and this harmony is sent around the world right now, to the mainland, to Canada, to Mexico, Ukraine, Yemen, Israel, Palestine, Russia, China, Australia, Africa, New Zealand, wraps around the entire planet. We call forth it now. We call forth freedom. We call forth peace for all people. We call forth truth and light. And that the greed of what stakeholders want, that greed is decimated and turns into the light of love for all humanity, that all people matter. We know it is done, Great Spirit. We get to watch as things unfold. We get to watch as the magic and miracles of light and love show themselves to all people around the world through our courage, through our tenacity, to our inner strength together as we stand up for what is right. And we know it is absolutely done. And so it is. Okay, long video. Much aloha to you guys. Please join standtogetherhawaii.com. Take a look in the description and get the affidavit and notarize it and send it registered mail. Love you all.